Hey guys, so today I'm here to do a book review. It's been a while since I last filmed a review video, but this one is over a book that I'm very much just slightly insane over, and that is Insanity by Cameron Jace. Now, when I first saw the cover of this book, I knew I wanted to read this book, and I just hoped it was a storyline that piqued my interest. Then I read the back of the book, and this little blurb sold the book for me. After accidentally killing everyone in her class, Alice Wonder is now a patient in the Radcliffe Lunatic Asylum. No one doubts her insanity. Only a hookah-smoking professor believes otherwise. That he can prove her sanity by decoding Lewis Carroll's paintings, photographs, and find Wonderland's real whereabouts. Professor Caterpillar persuades the asylum that Alice can save lives and catch the Wonderland monsters now reincarnated in modern-day criminals. In order to do so, Alice leads a double life. An Oxford University student by day, a mad girl in an asylum by night. The line between sanity and insanity thins when she meets Jack Diamond, an arrogant college student who believes that nonsense is an actual science. If this cover or the synopsis do nothing for you, then I guess it's time to say, catch you later. No, just kidding. This story is a modern-day retelling of Alice's Adventures in Wonderland by Lewis Carroll. Now, if you have read that book and you enjoy it, if you have read that book and hated it, I really feel that you're going to enjoy this magical realism story. Now, this is a series. It's the start of a series, but I haven't been able to get my hands on the second book in the series yet, but hopefully one day I will get my hands on a physical copy because these covers are freaking gorgeous. Bye, Samuel.
See ya.
So moving on to the non-spoiler review of this book, there are a lot of characters you're introduced to, and most of them have connections to the classic Alice story. So you have Alice, the Mad Hatter, you have the Caterpillar, the Queen of Hearts, the Jack of Diamonds. So you get a lovely mixture of the classic enveloped in the modern sense of the original classic story. I also very much appreciated the fact that a lot of the characters that were connected to their Alice counterpart actually have a very, very strong line as to why they're where they are, and I thought that was very well done. The author didn't really leave a lot of loose ends, although by the time you get to the end of this book, you're gonna be like, get me the second book now. That is what I was thinking. I was almost feeling like an insane person, but you know, the author did a really good job at taking, say, the Cheshire Cat and turning that character into a serial killer. And I thought that was a really unique idea. But then when you have all the background to that character, you have some light bulbs that click on and you're like, this is brilliant stuff. And that's literally what I was thinking throughout most of the book, is how brilliant the writing, the story, how deep it all wove together. It was just, beautifully done. So if this part of this review hasn't gripped you enough to want to get your hands on some sort of copy of this to read, I don't really know what will, because I know that I'm not really doing this book justice with how I feel about it, but just let me state that if I could buy a copy of this book for you right there, I would plop a copy of it in your hands in this exact moment, because that is how much I enjoyed this story. So if you have not read the book, just don't watch any further, because now I'm going to talk about a few spoilery things, because I want to mention some things that I really loved, but I want to go into some depth. By the way, before you sign off, if you're still here and I didn't just send you away for no good reason, I just wanted to mention that the author takes not only real-life places, but real-life events and interweaves them into why the story is unfolding the way it is. So there you go. You can go somewhere else. Go and read this book, actually. The time that you could take watching my next part of the review, you could go on to a site and purchase yourself a copy of Insanity. So rather than watching the spoiler section and getting spoiled, go buy this book. Now that those of us that haven't read the book have left, and those of us that have read the book are here to watch this part, I can't... Oh, this book, so good. So I'm gonna just mention a few things because literally I just want to discuss the entire book from start to finish, and I know that would take forever. At least I could drag it out forever because that's how much I enjoyed it. So let's talk about Pillar the Killer. That was pretty interesting as a character. You know, he's not actually insane. He's just so caught up in the reality he's in that he's considered insane. You know, the way that the writing is done in this book, it makes you think that those that are out in the actual world and considered free could be the insane ones because they don't know what the heck is going on. And those that are in the insane asylum are actually the ones that are sane because they know what is going on and they're like, you fool, you should be behind here because you're a fool. So Pillar the Killer was a very amazing character, I thought. He played a bigger role than he did in the actual Alice in Wonderland story, which I like because I thought that the caterpillar was, you know, that little bit of wisdom that all the kids are like, I don't know what he's even talking about. He's drugged half the time. Well, in this book, he's probably drugged half the time too because he's still smoking a hookah. But his character makes complete sense. Like, he understands things faster than any other character, but he's not going to reveal it because he wants that character, i.e. the reader, to understand what is going on and not just spoil it for them, which I really like. The next character that I really liked was the Cheshire Cat because he was so twisted because of all these things that had happened in his life, and I feel that that was very upsetting because, you know, the Cheshire Cat is such a cute character in the actual Alice story that to see the character completely switched around and being an evil character, I thought was just brilliantly done. Now, the scene where Jack Diamond occurs for the first time in the story, that was pretty amazing. I thought that even though there wasn't a lot to that, I could just automatically feel something happening between Alice and Jack, and I knew there was more going on, but I just wasn't thinking at all. And then at the end of the book, when it's revealed what happened with the school bus accident and why Alice killed everyone, and the fact that her boyfriend that she loved and was so sweet with and I was always nice to her was Jack Diamond, hello, that just set it right off for me. Can I just state, when I got to the final page and it said these words, the end, ... I literally screamed, and I didn't toss the book because who would want to toss this beautiful book? But I literally yelled, why can't I have book 2 now? I feel that this book is amazing. By far the best Alice's Adventures in Wonderland retelling I have read. And the magical realism, the history, the background, the character development, and the interweaving of characters and storylines and plots and this entire book was amazing. And I cannot wait to read book 2. Alright, I am done now. This insane, crazy review is finished. Later. Hey guys, so I know that I'm in different clothes than I was for the rest of this review, but there were two things that I forgot to mention, and I really wanted to talk about them. The first is that in this book, the author really used and developed the whole asylum part of the story. He didn't just have it that, oh, she's in an asylum and everything is all nice and pretty and fancy. No, there was a lot of the creep factor and a lot of stuff that you would think in scary movies actually happen in asylums, and the author does that. There is one scene with shock therapy, and that freaked me right out. Yeah, I wasn't expecting that, but the author did a really good job making you know that the character actually was in an asylum and was being treated as a patient. She wasn't just there for no good reason at all. The second thing I wanted to mention is with regards to the actual ending of the story. The ending where you find out that the Cheshire Cat has been one of the people treating Alice, and that just screamed at me, I need the next book now, because that was not expected at all. Like, this person all the way along, you've been, I don't like them, they're kind of creepy, and then you find out that they are the Cheshire Cat killer, and you think, oh my word, this twist, wow, just mind-blowing. But, you know, the actual background of the Cheshire Cat is kind of sad, but most of the backgrounds for the characters and why they are in positions that they are is very symbolic of the positions they were in Wonderland, and I thought that was pretty interesting and very well utilized, and it actually worked out really well. So overall, I loved this read, and I hope that you will one day pick it up if you've listened to all of my spoilers, and yeah, read it. It is definitely an experience you don't want to miss.